Honorable members, there has been a lot of speculation on the proposal to relocate Luzira prisons. As a house of record, it is imperative that we rise above such speculation and listen for unofficial government position, so that we don't just speculate, we just don't read from papers. We need to get a clear position from government on what is happening, and the minister is going to present this pursuant to Rule 52(1) of the Rules of Procedure, and he will give us information as to whether the speculation is a reality. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Indeed, I can see the anxiety of members, and hopefully this statement will put to rest that anxiety. Right Honorable Speaker and members, at the 14th sitting of the third meeting of the third session of the 11th Parliament, held on Wednesday, 28th February 2024, the Honorable Mbwateka Mwagafa, Member of Parliament of Igara West, Mushenyi District, raised a matter regarding a letter reportedly from the Minister of Internal Affairs that appeared in social media calling for a consultative meeting on the relocation of Luzira prison to create space for an investment opportunity to an external investor. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to respond as follows. Right Honorable Speaker and members, Luzira prison group of prisons is the first prison set up in Uganda by the colonial government in the 1920s. By then, the population of Uganda was very low, estimated at 3,071,608 persons. This is according to the Colonial Annual Report number 1112 of December 1920. At that time, Luzira area was peri-urban with almost no developed infrastructure. The prison's infrastructure was the most developed, and the prisons suited to be in that location. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. Right Honorable Speaker and members, over time, the prison's infrastructure became dilapidated, while the neighborhood continued to improve and modernize. A modern secondary school and hospital, Bishop Cyprian Chanjire, was set up on 20 acres of the prison land. Another 64 acres that was used by the prisons for crop and livestock farming became an industrial park with industries such as Quality Chemicals Limited, Police Sac Limited, U-Fresh, Nightply, and Masterwood, among others. High-rise private property have also sprung up in the immediate neighborhood of the prison. Types of prisons in Luzira. Right Honorable Speaker and members, prisons are classified according to the purpose they serve, either as reception centers, receive and hold suspects awaiting trial, or rehabilitation centers, those that receive convicts from the reception centers for rehabilitation and reform. Prisons are also categorized by the type of offenders they hold and the level of security required: maximum security, high security, medium and low security, and open prisons. Luzira group of prisons was established to absorb all these categories of prisons as indicated in the table that follows. And the table includes: 1, we have Uganda Prisons Upper. It's in the category of maximum security prison, and it's both a reception and rehabilitation center. 2, Uganda Prison Murchison Bay. It's high security prison, both reception and rehabilitation center. 3, Kampala Remand Prison, low security prison used as a reception center. And 4, Luzira Women Prison, a maximum security prison for female prisoners used both as a reception and rehabilitation center.
General, I hope you're not going away. Okay, thank you.
Other facilities at Luzira, we have a prisons academy and training school, Murchison Bay Farm, Murchison Bay Hospital, regional headquarters, Murchison Bay Primary School, staff housing, staff hospital and clinic, 2 churches and 1 mosque, parade grounds, and a football pitch. Current prisoners and staff population at Luzira, prisoners population, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, as at 25th March, this report has been there since that time. Luzira prisons had a total of 8,790 prisoners, including 5,167 remands, 3,457 convicts, 107 condemned prisoners, and 59 civil debtors, as indicated in the table below. Upper had 105 condemns, 1,368 convicts, 1,746 remands, and the total 3,219. Murchison Bay had 1,398 convicts, 1,617 remands, 7 debtors, 3,022 total. Kampala R had 318 convicts, 1,490 remands, 40 debtors, 1,848 total. And Luzira women had 2 condemns, 347 convicts, 314 remands, 12 debtors, total 701. The totals are down in the last column. Staff population as at 2024 was 2,653 in Luzira barracks. The current state of the infrastructure at Luzira. Congestion. Luzira group of prisons was built in the 20s with a total prisoners holding capacity of 1,923 prisoners. Today, Luzira is holding 8,790 prisoners, thereby having an excess of 6,867 prisoners above its capacity, up to 4 times beyond the designed capacity. The details are shown in the table that follows. The disparity between the holding capacity and the numbers that are there. In upper, we have 756 population that is there now, 3,219. Excess is 2,463. The number of times above capacity, 4.3%. Murchison Bay, 646. Population there, 3,022. Excess, 2,376. A number of times above capacity, 4.7. Kampala remand, 289. Holding capacity. Population, 1,848. Excess, 1,559. Capacity above holding capacity 6.4. Luzira women 232 holding capacity, population now 701, excess 469. The exceeding capacity is 3.4. The totals are down. The safety and security of prisons, besides limited capacity, the design of the prisons at Luzira did not at the time envisage the level of security required to keep the categories of inmates that we hold now in Luzira. The buildings have not been renovated in recent times, and the state of dilapidation is extremely high. The buildings have outlived their lifetime. Reasons for the proposed relocation. Honorable Speaker and members, the land occupied by Luzira is approximately 260 acres. Strategically located in Luzira, Nakawa Division, Kampala's capital city authority, and a prime urban area along the shore of Lake Victoria with excellent scenery. It sits next to the railroad line connecting Kampala to Lake Victoria, which is Kampala's only inland harbor at Port Bell. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. However, currently, with the mentioned developments and constraints of space and implied high security risks, this can no longer justify its continued existence in the present location. Prisoners can be kept anywhere in Uganda, provided they have access to the courts of law, hospitals, and prisons visits by relatives. The transport network in and around Kampala metropolitan area has improved, and customized security vehicles can easily be acquired to secure prisoners in transit to access justice and other services. Cheaper land, if available, can be identified. Modern infrastructure would then be constructed to accommodate most of the major activities currently being handled at Luzira. This would not only solve the congestion problem, but would also offer better human conditions, rehabilitation, and friendly facilities. If a more suitable and conducive, cost-effective alternative were to be acquired, Luzira Prison's land, which is very prime, would be released and secured for investment. Modern investment on the current prison land would lead to job creation for Ugandans, foreign exchange earnings, increased tax base, and would foster economic growth and development. This in line with the country's policy framework of a poverty reduction strategy that emphasizes investment promotion. Uganda Prison Service is likely to benefit from such development other than continuously holding on to this constrained space with all the attendant constraints mentioned. The current prison's infrastructure is highly dilapidated, and its continued use is insecure and a denial of the rights of prisoners to a decent living environment. Secondly, the design of the infrastructure can no longer handle the current type of prisoners that we hold. And thirdly, the design of infrastructure is not rehabilitation friendly and therefore can no longer support correction and modern penal policy. Therefore, it appeals to logic to plan for new infrastructure in a more suitable place and relieve Luzira for other viable economic investments. Even without the current proposal, just a moment, members, even without the current proposal by an investor to put up a hotel at Luzira in exchange for constructing a prison elsewhere, which sparked this debate, it would inevitably be necessary to plan for a suitable alternative to Luzira prisons. The question of what to do with Luzira land is a detail, provided due diligence is complied with. Towards this end, therefore, there are many options for consideration, including these ones below, and I would like to implore members to listen attentively. The options are the following. There are three mentioned here. One, no relocation. Renovate and expand the current Luzira facilities at a cost of approximately 400 billion to meet the requirements of a modern correctional institution and security needs of the changing profiles of offenders without relocation. B, relocate the prison at government cost, but retain the land and facilities at Luzira for the other prison non-custodial purposes. C, relocate Luzira group of prisons to another site to present an opportunity of acquiring better infrastructure that can enable the service to effectively carry out custody, rehabilitation, and reform of offenders. At the investor's own cost, estimated at 934 billion. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, Luzira prison land is very prime, can be released and secured for investment or for the other options indicated above. Modern investment on the current prison land would lead to job creation for Ugandan foreign exchange earnings, increased tax base, and would foster economic growth. Uganda's prison service will benefit from such development. Alternatively, honorable members, retention and improvement of Luzira prisons in its current location or retention of the land for non-custodial purposes accompanied with relocation of the prison at government cost are also options, albeit with heavy cost implications. To improve the welfare of staff and prisons, a more spacious space be identified to construct modern prison infrastructure that supports security, safety, and rehabilitation of offenders and well-being of staff. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, it is prudent for government to plan for the new and better infrastructure for the prison service in a more secure location and relieve Luzira land for either of the options mentioned above. Thank you for listening. That is the statement for
Thank you.
about the subject.
Honorable Minister, before I allow members to speak, I just want to ask something on the available option to improve prisons conditions. Has this decision already been taken, or you're seeking for because there are some scenarios.
All these are at inception. There's no decision which has been
There's
taken.
no
and I want
decision.
to allay the fears of members.
Okay, okay. Asmani, Eric, Asuman, Eric, Jane, Loy. You people, let's not go into procedure.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. The petitioner was basing on allegations, and now the Honourable Minister has put it very clear that there was nothing of that nature or proposal to transfer the prison. So what are we discussing now?
Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Enos. Have you become a hired gun?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
No. The minister.
Okay, Madam Speaker.
Listen.
Yes.
The minister has made his statement and he has given you options. It's no longer speculation. You get it, eh? So when you said you use the bullets well.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity.
I forgot one thing, Right Honourable Speaker and members. I think we need to arrange a visit so that you can make your own appreciation.
Pardon? You need to do what?
Organize a non-custodial visit.
But
Right Honourable Speaker.
Maybe you could also know. Maybe you could also know the investor. We had land here, Shimoni, Naguru, Zambia.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you.
Honorable members, Lubowa is going on. We are at window level. We are at window level. I am not telling you, we've been there. But this is a very serious matter. This is a very serious matter. Can we briefly?
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you. And I want to thank the Minister for the report. Right Honourable Speaker, I am surprised that government is planning to expand prison facilities. I'm very surprised. That part of relocation is intended to create enough space for prisoners. At a time when a country is actually supposed to be planning for stability, law and order to minimize prisoners. On the contrary, we are planning for expansion. Right Honourable Speaker, the minister has said, we plan a visit. Minister, I have been to Luzira as a political prisoner. I was in Luzira. There is a reason why that place is located in that area. Those of you who have not been to prison, and I pray that you find time and be there, but for the good reasons, like I was there, you will understand that, Right Honourable Speaker, even location of prison is psychological and it also impacts on prisoners. You know what happens in Nakasongola you know what happens if you are taken in all these facilities that were not supposed or created to provide sufficient prison facilities. Actually, right, Honorable Speaker, those of us who have been to prison, we prefer being in Luzira than elsewhere, even geographically. But Honorable Speaker, of fundamental point is the company that is being reported to construct this facility. That company has been blacklisted by the World Bank. Is debt burdened. That company, RVR, is debt burdened, has been blacklisted. And it is the company being fronted to take over that piece of land. How do we, and it has been even a subject of investigation, even locally here. And it is a company being fronted. Right, Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, we should not allow land grabbing disguised as an opportunity to expand Luzira. We should not allow that. We should not allow that. If you want to have more hotels, please, where you want to take this facility is where actually you should take the hotel. Because that place also needs development. Take it there, and you also have that place developed. Otherwise, what is happening here is land grabbing disguised in another manner. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I want to guide the House. Let's discuss on the 3 available options. The 3 available options is no relocation. 2, relocate the prisons at a cost of government. 3, relocate Luzira group of prisons to another site. Unfortunately, at the cost of the investor. Unfortunately, the minister has not told us who the investor is. 2, much as my presumption is by the time somebody goes to prison, the person is not going for luxury. Where you're saying that the land is small, the land needs to be, we need to expand, we need that kind of thing. So it's not about luxury. It's about the land of Uganda, for the people of Uganda, which is in a very strategic location. And who is that investor is the question. A procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, is it procedurally right for me to give some additional information on this matter before the next colleague comes to debate, such that we inform?
You have information?
Yes.
Is it documented?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, and I'm going to give you a copy.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Yes. You know, one thing is the information you're giving is a letter from the president. But I want to tell you people, a president does not write a letter from the blues. He is always advised. They go and tell him there is this part of land, there is this kind of thing, there is this. That is how he writes. Because he doesn't know these people. They go lying him.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I am not blaming the President on this matter, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 10th of July, 2022, His Excellency the President did write to General Kahindo Tafire the Minister of Internal Affairs, relocation of Luzira prisons, and construction of Uganda International Conference Center and a commercial hub. This letter was received on the 18th of July, 2022. The above matter refers, I have received a letter from Chiang Tang Group that are proposing to redevelop the Luzira prison into a 5-star hotel with a conference center and relocate the prison at their cost to another place in interior on a land identified by the government. I totally support this idea. Therefore, you are directed to do the following. 1, start negotiations with the Chiang Tang Group about this program. 2, identify the land in the interior where we relocate the prison anywhere in Uganda. Signed, His Excellency the President Museveni, and copied to the Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Attorney General Paul Zhang, the Chairman of Chiang Tang Group Limited. Madam Speaker, I am bringing this letter such that you get to know the company and the person behind it. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, on the 22nd of February 2024, the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs did write to the Attorney General, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Parliament Avenue, Kampala, invitation to a consultative meeting on the proposed relocation of Luzira prisons. The Chiang Tang Group approached His Excellency the President of Uganda with a proposal to redevelop Luzira prison into the ultra-modern city suburb. Further, reference is made to the letter of the President, which I've just read. The Uganda Prisons Service have identified 3.5 square miles in Buikwe, out of which they have agreed to purchase 1 square mile for the said relocation. The family of the late Antonio Lutwama Kabegeta, who owned the land, have unfortunately never applied for letters of administration since the late passed on in 1928. Note that, honorable members. Although they have agreed as a family and the beneficiaries to sell the said square mile to Uganda prisons, in light of the current legal impasse on processing letters of administration from the old Buganda estates, the family lawyers have formed an opinion that they, the beneficiaries, can still sell their interest in the said land to the Uganda Prisons Service for the prison's relocation. The letter, they are saying in this letter here that that legal opinion is addressed, which of course we shall ask the minister to produce. The purpose of his letter, therefore, is to invite you and the Administrator General to my office on the 6th of March 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Ministry of Internal Affairs boardroom for a joint meeting to review the said position of the family and whether your office has an objection or proposal to articulate the said presidential directive. Signed, General Kahino Tafire, copy to the Administrator General. Right Honorable Speaker, 1, you have seen from this letter, Luzira prison is 260 acres. The letter requesting for land in Luzira is for 1-star hotel and a conference center. Does it need 260 acres? Why don't you give them 2-3 acres? If we are to give 2. Sorry. These are questions I'm posing. Not that that's my proposal. I am posing those questions.
Honorable members. Honorable members, the member is saying, does an investor need 260 acres to build a hotel and put a conference center That is what he's saying.
That's the question I'm posing. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for clarifying. Two, Right Honorable Speaker. Two, Right Honorable Speaker. Can we have the Attorney General's opinion, Honorable Minister? Honorable Minister, can we have the Attorney General's opinion on this matter? That's two. That's two. I know why the reason I'm saying so. Two, the Minister of Lands has objected to this because this land is contested, because the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren are complaining about this land. So, Right Honorable
Which
Speaker,
one?
Of the late Antonio, who passed away in 1926.
But what was the criteria of getting that land? Why didn't they buy it from Ethel, from another person? So many people have land.
That's why I'm asking that we need that's why I'm saying, Madam Speaker, that we need the Minister of Lands on this matter, their position, because some of us, because we sit in the Committee of Lands, we raised this matter. They made comments on it to us in the committee. So we need that also to be clarified. Finally, as I conclude, Right Honorable Speaker, that we need that Attorney General's opinion on this matter. We had the opinion of Minister of Lands, but there is no way we are going to give out Luzira Prison 260 acres for one-star hotel. And then the issue which was raised by Honorable Asuman here, the gentleman here at this poll, has had so many issues regarding land in Tororo, the issue of the phosphate industry, here in Kampala, and others internationally. So, Right Honorable Speaker, we cannot afford to lose. If it was not for Mr. Sudir to save us with his money, it was gone, because the hotel, the group that they had given, these are the same reasons they gave to us in the 7th Parliament about Shimoni. And at the end of it, there was no hotel. They had to look for someone to sell. And that place had been sold at $2 million only. That's how he came in. If he had not to come, we would not have seen that place.
Thank you.
We have seen other places. So, Right Honorable Speakers, we are not in support of it. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Erica.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Members, you're going to speak.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
But
You are-
mindful of my 2 hours. You speak.
You have guided very well, Madam Speaker, about the options that we are supposed to take. And I would go with option number 1. Madam Speaker, with given reasons, why do we go for option number 1? We have not been doing very well in land, in government land given to investors, which investors even fail to develop this land. The Luzira prison land is a preserve of government. Why can't we get land elsewhere if we're interested in creating 5-star hotels and other shopping malls? We better get other areas. For example, we have areas that we have given out, like, you know, the Shimoni, the popular Shimoni school, up to now, Naguru land, up to now, we are still asking ourselves what is happening. You have intervened in Lubowa land. I remember the president talked to us and said, we are going to set up a 5-star hotel in this. We are going to put up a first-class hospital. Things are failing out. For Luzira land, let it be a preserve of government, and let us upgrade this prison, and then it be the first class. Why not get land elsewhere and not necessarily in Luzira?
Thank you. Havor, Loy, Juliet. I'm starting from outside. And
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank the
Honourable
Minister
members, 2 minutes.
for bringing us to speed with this project that is about to come. Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to say that I would rather prefer, on behalf of the people of Pakwach and Uganda, that we go with option 1. And why? Right Honorable Speaker, we have already structures in Luzira. Indeed, there is congestion, and it's not only in Luzira prison. There's congestion in almost all prisons. And we have high courts in almost all regions. We could rather opt to expand other prisons so that other criminals can go and stay there and then report to court. Right Honorable Speaker, tourism is the focus of the NRM government. Even when we bring budgets here, tourism is one of the main focus. And the tourism potentials are all over this country. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is time that we focus on tourist cities in this country. And Pakwach offers the best option so far after Fort Portal. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have a mass body of water there, the River Nile and the Albert Nile.
So Jane, you're proposing?
I am proposing that the investor...
you're proposing that the 5-star hotel must go to those areas.
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker. So that we expand the city and decongest the city and take development outside of Kampala and create opportunities for our farmers, for our traders, for our young people who are graduating from all these government institutions to be employed, and we expand the tax base. It is true we need to attract investors in this country, but why concentrate them here and take over our prime government land, right, Honorable Speaker? The people of Pakwach have told me to tell you and the House today that the time is now to take this investment across there. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister for that statement. And like most of my colleagues, Right Honourable Speaker, I go with option 1. Right Honourable Speaker, relocating this prison automatically means giving out this prime land for free. The Honourable Minister talks about having the dilapidated structures. I just want to inform him that in Uganda, most of the government structures are dilapidated, not only in Uganda, but even our embassies outside. So it's high time government started working on our structures. Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister talks about the Bishop Kangire Secondary School. I come from that side, Right Honourable Speaker, which was set up on 20 acres of land and lots of companies that are there. My question is, did they get this land for free or they bought? 260 acres of land is too huge, Right Honourable Speaker. An acre in Luzira could go for R1 billion shillings. If the worst comes to the worst, Right Honourable Speaker, my proposal is they can sell for few acres and reconstruct the prison in Luzira. Thank you.
Thank you. Juliet, honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. I have a vast land. I have vast land, which I can even give for free. Where I can even give for free to the investor. Yes, where there is water, near the water, for prisons. I mean for them to put a what? A 5-star. Very prime. I mean tourism. We are looking at. Yes, Kinyamatama.
Thank you.
Angora.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I raised to say that I take option number 1 of no relocation and also renovation of Luzira prisons, because that's what is in option 1.
Honourable, as we discuss this, we are basically giving advice. Because this is an executive directive. And as the minister goes back, the minister will have to report that the advice of Parliament is that they don't believe in giving out the land.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. And I think on our advice as Parliament, we concretize it by voting so that they know that we are going with one voice as Parliament, that there is no relocation of Luzira prisons. Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, I take this as a scam. This deal you're in is a scam for one reason. This has happened before. We lost Shimon, we lost Naguruland. We have been in this cycle for a long time. And no wonder, that's why in the presentation of this information, we do not see the facts of the beginning or the genesis of this deal. Because we see a report being made already on the 25th of March before the whistleblower to this House. So this is a confirmation that this deal has been ongoing, but Ugandans are tired. Ugandans, our eyes are so open, members of parliament are aware. We are requesting that we now take consideration of Uganda first and then we serve other interests later. So I beg to submit.
Angura?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for responding to this issue. You will recall that many people are depicted as information that was circulating in the media. But Madam Speaker, we need to appreciate the statement that has been given by the Minister. Whereas we have a challenge of land that government has kept giving out, and many times we have not seen the expected development on that land. For example, even in Tororo, we have the Dongsong project that was given quite a big chunk of land, and we are still waiting for the 5 industries. But world over, we must appreciate that correctional facilities are not in the center. As we speak now, it is my opinion. It is my opinion. Allow me raise my concern. Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, allow the member to finish his statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Everyone will have an opportunity to contribute. What I was saying is this. Luzira is slowly but surely being eaten up by urbanization. Slowly but surely. I really wouldn't mind relocation of Luzira. The question would be, the investor who's taking Luzira, are we getting the worth of what we're getting?
Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I want to buy the idea that the prison be relocated, the land.
Odur, there's a procedure from Odur. By the way, honorable members, the information we are getting is not seeking for permission. We only ask for a clarification. And the clarification we asked for was because of the speculation that was outside there. So we are getting the clarification. And for us, we are giving our views that in our own opinion, we think option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3, whichever you feel is okay.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the point of procedure I'm raising is regards how we are proceeding.
Honorable members,
And
can I have silence?
regards how we are proceeding and how this House will take a decision on the options that you have raised. If there was a motion, at the end of the motion, a question would be put and the decision would be carried. Now, how will this House process the 3 options? My fear is that we are falling into the trap of the executive. If the minister wanted that, he would have brought a substantive motion with a definite result that this House could take a decision on. So, Madam Speaker, I beg your indulgence that we don't...
Honorable members and Honorable Speaker, this document has been uploaded on the iPad, and I hope we shall follow it. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm presenting this statement to inform Parliament of the status of implementation of the national, district, urban, and community access roads projects prioritized for implementation under the 3rd National Development Plan, NDP3, ITIS program. Status of NDP3 National Roads Project. Financing of planned NDP3 projects. 2.21. Right Honorable Speaker, at the start of the NDP period, in 2020-2021, 3,531 kilometers of new roads were selected for upgrading, 32 kilometers of existing roads for capacity improvement within the Greater Kampala metropolitan area, and construction of 6 strategic bridges. These projects were estimated to cost about 15 trillion. This excluded the projects under implementation at the time, which would cross over to NDP3, which crossed over from NDP2, and were to be completed in the NDP3 period. Right Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, the COVID-19 pandemic was a major setback to the economy and it affected the revenues available to government for investment in the infrastructure. As a result, the allocations of the domestically funded budget for the development of national roads dropped from 1.7 trillion in 2020-2021 to Uganda shillings 957 billion this financial year, 2023-2024. This reduction in the funds available reduced the physical progress that could be achieved in the period. The reduction in the domestic funds available for development projects also affects the implementation of externally funded projects, as domestic funds are required for counterpart funding and land acquisition. Honorable members, the government had planned to upgrade roads to support tourism development, because tourism is a cash cow, and ease congestion in the Greater Kampala metropolitan area during NDP3. However, this reduction in the resources also delayed the implementation of the key interventions, and they must therefore be prioritized in the NDP4. (2.2.2) Performance on the national roads. Right Honorable Speaker, despite the setbacks and the significant reduction in funding, government was able to register some success in the delivery of the plan. By June 2023, the status of implementation of the NDP3 program was as follows. (753 kilometers of national roads had been upgraded to paved standard, bringing the total paved stock to 6,133 kilometers countrywide. This was against the targeted 1,500 kilometers in the same period because, again, of the COVID issue. In addition to the national roads, UNRA also upgraded 196 kilometers of town roads within various towns and municipalities across the country, and 464 kilometers of road rehabilitation and reconstruction were completed in the same period. The details of the completed rehabilitation and upgrade projects is attached as Annex 1. The annex is a very big annex. It has Annex 1 up to Annex 8. I would request members of Parliament at your own time to refer to the annexes. Due to these interventions, as of June 2023, 59% of the national paved network was in good condition, while 35% was in fair condition. During the NDP3 period, large percentages of the network which was in good condition has deteriorated to fair condition. This has created a significant maintenance backlog that shall necessitate increased focus on maintenance of the paved road network in NDP4 period, as opposed to coming up with new projects in order to protect the existing assets. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the construction of bridges and provision of ferry crossings was also catered for during the NDP3 period. 26 bridges were constructed by Uganda National Roads Authority in the period from 2020 to 2021 to 2022-2023, and the following ferries were also commissioned during the period. Bisina Ferry, which applies between Kumi and Katakwi on Lake Bisina. This was commissioned 2020-2021. MV Triple B, this is Bubembe Bunyama Ugala, not Mugala, Bugala on Lake Victoria in 2021-2022. MV Pamba, Kiyindi to Buvuma. This was done together with the Minister of Agriculture under the oil palm project. Right Honorable Speaker, the analysis showed that the available MTEF is insufficient for the completion of the ongoing commitments under the development of national roads. Allocation of extra resources to the program in NDP4 period is required if we are to achieve the objectives of preserving the road assets and increasing the stock and quality of the productive infrastructure as required. 2.2.3, Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry is currently implementing 26 national road development projects covering 1,249 kilometers and 11 road rehabilitation projects spanning 952 kilometers. In addition, construction of 27 bridges and 10 ferry improvement projects across the national roads and national roads network in different regions of the country is also ongoing. I've provided a list of the ongoing projects included in Annex 2 to this document. Again, I implore members of Parliament to go to look at that at your own time because it has all the details. 2.2.4, Right Honorable Speaker, these are projects under preparation. Right Honorable Speaker, in addition to the projects under implementation, we have several projects which are under preparation. These include 7 road upgrading projects with signed commercial contracts where the contractors are in the process of confirming the financing. These are projects which are structured under the contractor facilitated financing, CCF, and the commencement of civil works is dependent on the finalization of the financing agreements between the contractors and Ministry of Finance. The details of this are in Annex 3 to the document. 2, 14 civil works contracts are under procurement and with the process expected to be completed financially in the financial year 2023-2024. These details are also in the Annex 4 to this document. 7 road projects are to be executed utilizing external financing. The government is currently undertaking the necessary legal processes to have the financing approved and signed by both parties. Right Honorable Speaker, the list of NDP projects and their status is attached on Annex 5. Challenges faced in the implementation of the road program projects. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the implementation of the program has encountered several challenges. 1, reduced allocation of funds to the development of roads, which has led to limiting commencement of new projects during the period. The inadequate releases have also led to the government of Uganda incurring debts to the contractors during the NDP3 period. UNRA currently faces a debt of, this was some time back, but as I speak now, the debt is 1,044 million 100 and something thousand. It's bigger than what you see here. And that debt attracts 350 million of interest every day. Rising out of the cost of construction, especially after COVID, has led to the increase in key road construction and maintenance inputs, such as bitumen, steel, timber, and fuel, thus increasing the cost of operations. Number 4, procurement delays occasioned on the program by external stakeholders, disruptive bidders. If bids are invited, whoever is not satisfied will stop the process because the law provides that. We have what we call whistleblowers. You cannot even know who the whistleblower is because he's not supposed to reveal himself. The process must stop until the whistleblower is satisfied. Number 5, the COVID-19 pandemic greatly affected UNRWA's ability to achieve the set targets. Several activities, mainly road construction, were affected by the lockdown and or partial lockdown. Activities like land acquisition were halted, while projects continued to be implemented under very strict standing operating procedures. This affected working hours and supplies of the project inputs. Status of district urban and community access roads, DUCA. And I think this is an area of interest to many of the MPs here. Right Honorable Speaker, at the beginning of NDP3, in financial year 2020-2021, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development approved 4 projects under DUCA, and these included Project 1558, which is Rural Bridges Infrastructure, 1564, Community Roads Improvement Project, 1703, Rehabilitation of District Roads, and 1705, Rehabilitation and Upgrading of Urban Roads. Status of the project. Under Project 1558, which are Rural Bridges Infrastructure, that's the first one I'm addressing at 4.2.1. Right Honorable Speaker, this project focuses on improving connectivity in rural areas by constructing bridges and improving swamp crossings. The project also focuses on constructing cable-stayed footbridges and metallic ladders in the mountainous area. The project was formulated in 2019-20 for a period of 5 years with the following targets. We are targeted 15 bridges to be constructed, 17.5 kilometers of swamp crossing to be constructed, 30 alternative bridge mechanisms constructed, which would include archer bridge, footbridges, and metallic ladders, and 25 new bridges designed. The above outputs were estimated to cost 300 billion over a period of 5 years. To date, just a total of 99.6 billion has been received, and out of that, this is what has been achieved. 7 bridges have been constructed, 2 bridges are under construction, and 2 other bridges have been procured. 1 swamp crossing of 1 kilometer has been constructed, 8 swamp crossings are under construction, and 1 swamp crossing is designed for construction. 18 cable bridges, footbridges, have been constructed, and 1 cable bridge is under construction. 2 metallic ladders constructed in the areas of, in the Elgon areas, and another metallic ladder is under construction. The details of these bridges and swamp crossings and cable footbridges and metallic ladders are contained in Annex 6 to the document. 4.2.2 Project 1564, Community Roads Improvement Project. This project was developed to rehabilitate community roads across the country. The goal was to improve the standard of living of the rural community by improving their connectivity, accessibility to markets, and social and administrative services. 95.28 kilometers are still under construction. 21.7 kilometers of medium volume traffic roads were sealed, and 4.3 are still under construction. Construction of another 22 kilometers has started using the stage construction modality. Details of this are in Annex 8. Project 4.2.4, 1705, rehabilitation and upgrading of urban roads. Right Honorable Speaker, this project was developed to reduce mud and dust in urban areas and improve their aesthetic conditions. It mainly focuses on tarmacking of roads in urban areas. It started in July 2021 for a period of 5 years. The project had the following targets: 34 kilometers of roads in 10 municipal councils to be tarmacked, and 60 kilometers of roads in 25 town councils to be tarmacked. The above outputs were estimated at a cost of 715.5 billion. Right Honorable Speaker, in financial year 2022-2023, this project was rescoped to include the presidential directives of tarmacking 90 kilometers of urban roads in Bukedi and Busoga sub-region. This required an additional 465 billion. The preliminary engineering design of the 90 kilometers were completed, but the ministry has not yet received any coin to start construction works. The beneficiary urban councils are eager to have the work started due to the likely political ramifications during the next elections of 2026. As of February 2024, Uganda shillings 74.2 billion had been released, and the following achievements have been registered. 19.2 kilometers of roads in 6 municipal councils tarmacked. 4.1 kilometers are still under construction. And 18.5 kilometers of roads in 15 town councils have been tarmacked. 3.7 are still under construction. The details in Annex 9 to the document. Support services to Duka projects. 4.3.1, regional mechanical workshops. Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry operates 4 regional mechanical workshops. Definitely, these are few as compared to the size of the country and the demand. But these are in Kampala, Gulu, Bugembe, and Mbarara, whose main function is to extend maintenance support to districts and zonal road equipment, road units. These are the areas where you can borrow or where you can ask for heavy-duty equipment, like the excavators, the bulldozers. We know that these equipments are not at the district, but you can request for them from the regional mechanical workshop once you are ready to use them. The account, many people here have benefited. I think Madam Nabukenya is here, can testify. The count of district road equipment has incrementally expanded, beginning with road units obtained by some districts under various projects and grants in the 1990s, early 2000, to the 1,405 assorted road equipment from China in 2012, and finally, the 1,151 road equipment from Japan obtained in 2017. The new districts, the equipment, your first units have arrived, and we were due to hand them out on the 10th of May, but we understand that's a population day, is the census day, so we shall hand over these equipments on the 15th of May to the districts, the new districts. It's a wheel loader and a grader. That's the first lot. We need an additional 27 billion, and I hope that Parliament will appropriate that money this coming financial year so that we can get the rest of the equipment for you to have a full unit. Other than the grant from the government of Japan through JICA that facilitated the construction of Bugembe Regional Mechanical Workshops in 1997, no development funds have ever been made available since then for development and retooling of the regional mechanical workshops. The total requirement for retooling and refurbishing the regional mechanical workshops is estimated at 100 billion, which we hope can be realized through the debt financing or through project support from development partners. Discussions with the Minister of Finance on this matter is still ongoing. Right Honorable Speaker, from 2017 to 2018 to date, maintenance of road equipment from Japan was prioritized over other road equipment in the district, as no new funding was made available for maintenance of road equipment from China and the older equipment. The routine maintenance budget for road construction equipment reduced from 22 billion in 2019-20 to 11 billion in 2020-2021, partly due to disruptions caused by the COVID pandemic, but also notably due to rationalization of the ministry's budget in 2020-2021 to cater for special requirements and Operation Wealth Creation. Right Honorable Speaker, the routine maintenance budget was never restored, and yet the road equipment maintenance regime transitioned from preventive maintenance, which is the normal service, into corrective maintenance, which requires additional 23 billion. The current shortfall in road equipment maintenance funding, therefore, is about 23 billion. The resultant effect of these budget cuts was the reduction in the road equipment available from 95% in 2017 to the current level of 30%. Even I know that many of you are members of the road committee, and your engineers have been crying about serviceability of the road equipment, no tires, and when the brakes get worn out. This is because the maintenance budget has been cut. Whereas the ministry has been receiving its entire annual road equipment maintenance budget of 11.6 billion since 2021, this amount is insufficient to cater for both preventive and corrective maintenance requirements, and hence the persistent low equipment availability. Right Honorable Speaker, there are currently no works supervision vehicles in the districts and mobility equipment for vibro rollers. That's why most of the districts don't use them. They stay at the district headquarters because they can't move them to go and do the works. This leads to incomplete road works being done. They can't apply the maram and compress because the rollers, the vibro rollers cannot move. Additionally, the urban authorities, including cities themselves, do not have specialized equipment for road construction of the bituminous roads. This, we have already gone into discussion with the Minister of Finance on this matter. We did the needs assessment. We know the equipment required, and the specs have been already provided to the Minister of Finance. The total requirement for the requisite road equipment units for this purpose is $70 million, which we hope can be funded through debt financing using the same scheme which we used to get the 1,115 units in 2017. Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry is in the process of procuring road construction equipment for the new district. As I've said, those are already here, but we need another 29 billion for the vibro rollers, the tippers, and water bowsers. These were not included in the tranche of the money which you gave us last time. We shall continue engaging through my committee, both in the committees of budget and committee of infrastructure, and we engage Minister of Finance to avail the 29 billion so that we can complete the purchase. Zonal equipment centers, Right Honorable Speaker, the zonal equipment centers, I'm on 4.3.2, zonal equipment centers. Right Honorable Speaker, the zonal equipment centers are currently housed within the premises of the regional mechanical workshops. The ministry has planned to create 9 zonal centers. These are in Moroto, Mbale, Jinja, Gulu, Arua, Luwero, Hoima, Mbarara, Kabale, at an estimated cost of 45 billion. We shall continue engaging Minister of Finance in this endeavor. The zonal equipment centers operate the shared road equipment, such as the bulldozers, excavators, backhoe loaders, self-loading and low beds, while the shared equipment is insufficient to cater for requirements of the entire country. Their availability has been greatly reduced due to the insufficient maintenance funding, and thus the requirement for the additional money. Mechanical Engineering Training and Advisory Center, METRAC. Right Honorable Speaker, since 2017, when the ministry acquired the new equipment, the ministry has implemented several regional training sessions for district operators. While this training format was not sustainable, it was the only option given in the circumstances. In 2018, the government of Japan, through UNIDO, gave a grant of $2.3 million to the government of Uganda for construction of the Mechanical Engineering Training Center, or Advisory Center, abbreviated as METRAC, in Luwero. Phase 1 of the project, which comprised of a gatehouse, classroom block, maintenance block, administration block, these have been completed and the project has been handed over. It's just a few kilometers from Luwero town. Here we shall train and retrain operators so that we have, because the machine performance is as good, will be as good as the man behind the operation. If you have a bad operator, and in most cases what we have seen, people have drivers. These are drivers, not operators. In this center, we are going to train operators. And we are working with the Minister of Education so that they can also be tested under DIT and be given certificates of equivalent, so that they can be able to get employed outside in other markets. Right Honorable Speaker, phase 2 of the METRAC require 9.8 billion, which we began this financial year, So far, government has availed 1 billion for the construction of a few of the amenities. 4.3.4, Mount Elgon Labor-Based Training Center. Right Honorable Speaker, Mount Elgon Labor-Based Training Center, MELTEC, is a national training center under the Ministry of Works and Transport for applying labor-based technology in the rehabilitation and maintenance of national, district, urban, and community access roads. The training center is located 20 kilometers from Mbari City along the Mbari-Budadi Road, adjacent to Uganda Technical College, Elgon. Right Honorable Speaker, MELTEC provides training and capacity building in developing, maintaining, and utilizing critical road infrastructure assets in the district, urban and community access roads. Its contribution to the Duka network includes the following: training and capacity building of public and private sector personnel in the road subsector, dissemination of new innovative ways and bridge construction technologies and best practices in construction to improve value for money, consistency of applied standards and sustainability of infrastructure assets, integration of cross-cutting issues, gender, environment, social issues, and 4, socio-economic inclusion is achieved through public infrastructure projects on roads and bridges, employing local vulnerable communities using labor. The training center has trained more than 426 public and private sector personnel in the fundamentals of road and bridge technology and completed more than 5 bridges and 15 kilometers of model road training projects since 2022. We are now doing a test of cobblestone. We are trying to apply to do that cobblestone in the areas of the Elgon to see how it will perform. The stones are shaped very well and then laid, and they have proved to be very resilient to weather. We saw these, I think many of you, those who have been to Rome, you have seen on those Roman roads. This was a technology used way back in those years, but the roads are still firm. Right Honorable Speaker, since 2020-2021, the center has received 17.2 billion under recurrent budget and 10.2 billion under development of critical infrastructure model projects. For the center to conduct its mandate effectively, it needs a budget of 15 billion annually. Challenges. The key challenges experienced with the management of Duka network include the following: limited budget for rehabilitation of Duka Road network. My ministry will need an additional 406 billion per year, up from the current allocation of 167 billion per year, to effectively rehabilitate Duka Road network. This is even made worse now with the kind of rains we get and the effects on the Duka Road network. Lack of adequate equipment to enable effective execution of the force account works. More equipment is needed for the zonal centers, force accounts, municipal councils, new cities, and for the new districts. Those ones we have already sorted. Inadequate funding for road maintenance activities. Only about 40% of the maintenance needs are met by the Uganda Road Fund on the entire road network. Inadequate budget for the road equipment maintenance using the regional mechanical workshops. Currently, the annual budget is 11.6 instead of the 45 billion. Low capacity of local contractors who are required to implement Duka development interventions. And 6, absence of contingency funds to address emergencies, such as washed-away roads and bridges during the rainy season. Procurement of standby culverts, gabions, and buried bridges that are required whenever roads, bridges, and swamp crossings are damaged by heavy floods. Right Honorable Speaker and members, you remember the last rains we had and the damage on our roads. Because of lack of a contingency, we have not addressed those damages. We are now getting another spate of, again, heavy rains. And I don't know where we're going to end with this one by the time it comes down. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to assure you and the honorable members of Parliament that, 1, despite the challenges faced in the implementation of the planned NDP3 projects. Government of Uganda is committed to completing the ongoing projects and investing in new projects in NDP4, just a few of them. As the economy recovers, number two, as the economy recovers from the setbacks of the COVID-19, government will continue to prioritize development and maintenance of the road network to support other government initiatives. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry is committed to improve the roads network by ensuring timely and effective maintenance of public roads, construct the priority projects identified in the National Development Plan 3 to facilitate delivery of public services, economic activities, and ensure the highest returns on investment. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and members.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General. Thank
Additionally, Right Honorable Speaker, you directed me to bring onto the House and lay on table the progress on KJE, Kampala-Jinja Expressway. I beg to lay that on table and to be uploaded on the iPads.
That's the expressway.
The Kampala-Jinja Expressway. I beg to lay.
General, just give us a brief of it. Then after that, you also give us a brief on the other place we agree that there is no road. Just from Kampala here, but that one there to Jinja.
Right Honorable Speaker, I came here last time and briefed Parliament.
Honorable members, listen to General. At the end of the day, General needs money from you, because he cannot work on those roads on his own. So if you don't listen to him and you see why you prioritize your money, then...
Right Honorable Speaker, I think for the purposes of today, let me just give you and members of Parliament just the timelines for the implementation. What is still holding on to what we need to complete is, of course, the payments which have been approved for the RAPs, for the PAPs, the project affected persons. Right now, we need a total of 236.7 billion. This has been approved by the Chief Government Valuer. We need that money to finalize the payment of the PAPs. The targeted dates for acquisition of the right-of-way are shown as below. Section 1, this road is in Section 1, Southern Bypass. We think by the end of December 2024, we shall have completed acquisition of that section. Section 2, Kampala-Namagunga, again, by December 2024, we should have completed. Section 3, Namagunga-Jinja, we expect to complete acquiring the right-of-way by December 2025. Construction will commence only after the entire right-of-way has been acquired, following the financial closure, when the developer will obtain approvals for funds from the lending banks. Members of Parliament, Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, this is a PPP project. It's going to be done by the bid or the contractor who will qualify, he'll do the construction, he'll do the tolling for the number of years, which would be agreed with the government, and then hand the project over to government when he recoups his money. This, we think, is another way in which we shall be able to develop the expressways without necessarily feeling the pain in the pockets of the government, other than doing the land acquisition. Indicative project timelines. The major milestone is issuance of the final request for proposal document, which is hinged on the finalization of the government liquidity support for the project. This will require engagement with the Minister of Finance. However, these are the timelines we have put out and which we have put to the Minister of Finance. Invitation of bids, these have been done. Final bid submission is expected to be by July 2024, because adverts are not only for local bidders, but also for international bidders. So we give them enough time to be able to respond. Signature of contract, we estimate that if everything moves according to plan, by December 2024, we should sign the contract. And the commencement of works should be by 2025.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay this document.
Thank you. Please lay.
Right Honourable Speaker, you asked me to answer on the issue of the bad no road, especially the section, because the section now from Kampala to Mukono is more or less movable. The traffic is too much, I know, but Chambogo is going to be addressed when we are doing the KJE. That's why we are not putting a lot of effort there, because the KJE starts from down, it will start from ShopRite down here through Spear, and then all those sections will be addressed during that construction. The bad section now on the road of Jinja to Kampala to Jinja is mainly between from Mabira up to around Njeru. That's Njeru near Nile breweries. That's a nightmare. Right Honourable Speaker, as I've said, and you have said it rightly, if we don't get money to pay these contractors who are on these roads, we don't expect them to create miracles. 1 trillion in debt.
Honourable members, there is no money given. It is this house to give
Yes.
money. You will not expect General to get money from his farm and start working on the road.
Thank you.
Now
Rod.
that you know the road is bad,
Yes.
let's look at what is a priority road.
Thank you. I appreciate, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm sorry if I'm reading the lamentation, but this is the problem. And that's real, and we must address it, face it head on. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to submit.
Honourable members, we needed to get an update. The update that you needed to get has been given to you, and it comes back to us, as the members of Parliament, as we go into appropriation. Can I hear from?
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to agree with the Minister. We need to avail money. We have severally said, let's make money available for these our roads. And for me, it's not just, the upcountry ones by
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to present the report of the Committee of Physical Infrastructure on the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024. Introduction. Right Honourable Speaker, the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 was read for the first time on Tuesday, 9th April 2024, and referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure in accordance with Rules 128 and 129 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament for consideration and to report to the House. Background. Right Honourable Speaker, the Road Management Initiative, which was started in 1989, as a road maintenance initiative driven by the World Bank and Economic Commission for Africa. The initiative perceived road maintenance to be the most important aspect of road sector management for the sub-Saharan countries, and within that aspect, stability of financing was perceived as the core problem. Right Honourable Speaker, The Road Maintenance Initiative later changed to Road Management Initiative in 1997 in recognition of the fact that stable financing, though necessary, is not a sufficient condition for proper maintenance of the road network, but planning, implementation, and monitoring were equally important to ensure that the road network offers the right level of service to meet the country's roads needs. In essence, Right Honorable Speaker, the Road Fund or the Road Authority study was conducted in 1993 with financial assistance from the GTZ, and later in 2001 with financial assistance from the World Bank. These studies came up with the recommendations to the government on how to set up the Uganda Road Fund in order to effect substantial improvement in the management of the road sector. Right Honorable Speaker, the ultimate goal of the road sector reforms implemented in Uganda based on the Road Maintenance Initiative and the private sector review was to separate the ministry's role of policy formulation, legislation, setting standards, regulation, and monitoring from implementation. The separation of roles was in line with the universal norms, but it was important that Uganda Road Fund be given full authority to discharge its mandate. Right Honorable Speaker, in regards to the creation of the Uganda Road Fund was established by an Act of Parliament in 2008 to operate as a second-generation fund with the objective of financing routine and periodic maintenance of public roads in Uganda from mainly reserved and user charges. Uganda Road Fund, Right Honorable Speaker, became operational on 1st November 2009. Its main mandate is to finance the routine and periodic maintenance of public roads. It was designed by the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008 as a second-generation fund. This means it has ring-fenced road user charges, in bracket fuel levies, international transit fees, road lances fees, axle load, fines, bridge tolls, road tolls, and weight distance charges, and other money stipulated under Section 21 of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008. Another important aspect of the second generation fund is that the finances of the Uganda Road Fund are managed by a board and secretariat. Right Honorable Speaker, despite the above provisions of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008, the Uganda Road Fund has never attained the status of a second generation since its creation in 2009. All finances of Uganda Road Fund are collected by the Uganda Revenue Authority and mingled into the consolidation fund, into the consolidated fund. Uganda Road Fund is allocated annual budgets and receives quarterly releases of funds like any other government, ministry, department, and agency. Right Honorable Speaker, the fund has a duty to finance the implementation of the annual road maintenance program that are carried out by the Uganda National Roads Authority and by the Kampala Capital City Authority and other designated agencies responsible for district, urban, and community access roads. Right Honorable Speaker, by aspiring to ensure a stable, adequate, and timely flow of funds to agencies, the Uganda Road Fund provides the opportunity for the implementing agencies to plan for efficiency and effective delivery of maintenance of their respective categories of roads. Right Honorable Speaker, the object of the fund, according to Section 6 of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008, the object of the fund is, number one, to finance the routine and periodic maintenance of public roads in Uganda. Number two, to ensure that public roads are maintained at all times. And three, Right Honorable Speaker, is to advise the minister responsible for finance in consultation with the minister responsible for roads and the minister responsible for local governments on these two issues. Number one, the preparation and efficient and effective implementation of the annual road maintenance program. and the control of overloading of vehicles in public roads. Right Honorable Speaker, the object of the bill, the main objective of the bill is to give effect to the government policy for rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure adopted by the Cabinet on the 22nd of February 2021 and contained in Cabinet Minute number 43, C2 2021.
Procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, given the time constraint and given that some of these issues are similar throughout, maybe could we, would it be procedure right, we got to know the observations of the committee?
Observation and
then the
recommendations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Committee observations and recommendations. The committee observed that the full operationalization of the road fund, number one, the committee observed that as a result of failure to operate the Uganda Road Fund as a second generation fund, the budget allocation for maintenance has remained at a level of between 30 to 40% of the realistic budget requirement. The size of the public roads network in fair to good condition has kept reducing over the years, and the maintenance backlog has kept growing. Further, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the Uganda Road Fund is the least funded in the sub-Saharan region as shown in the table below. Number one, Uganda for apparent provisions in the Road Act 2000. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that there is need to review the whole maintenance operation strategy, including funding, the need to operationalize the fund, second generation fund, collecting revenue from users. In regard to relieving the government of the burden of wasteful expenditure and financial drain, the committee was informed that the Uganda Road Fund has a huge bill of Uganda shillings 2.6 billion accrued from a total of 36 staff and board expenses of 245 million Uganda shillings. The committee was further informed that upon mainstreaming the Uganda Road Fund, government will save less than Uganda shillings 5 billion in expenses on the board expenses, which is at 240 million Uganda shillings. Non-wage of Uganda shillings 3.8 billion, and employing 9 engineers, reducing the wage bill. The committee noted that the high wage bill is as a result of pay disparities between the traditional civil service and the agency, which is almost twofold. The committee, Right Honorable Speaker, further observed that the Inspectorate of Government in her report on the cost of corruption in Uganda, December 2021, revealed that the country loses 9.144 trillion a year on corruption, of which 4.5 trillion is borne by the budget and 4.3 billion is borne by public service users, firms and citizens. Right Honorable Speaker, this shows that elimination of corruption will yield more savings to government other than the rationalization of the Uganda Road Fund. The committee, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, recommends that the Uganda Road Fund be restructured to maintain the staff that are core to the mandate of the fund. The restructured agency should be maintained as lean as possible, with a competitive remuneration to attract and retain high-quality engineering professionals of the right caliber to achieve the fund's mandate. Right Honorable Speaker, further, the minister responsible for works should cause for the streamlining of pay structure of the ministry's scientists to realign with those of the fund. In respect to the lack of business continuity plan, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee observed that in spite of the fact that government took a decision in 2021 to merge, mainstream, and rationalize government agencies, commissions, authorities, and public expenditure in order to facilitate efficient and effective service delivery, to date, there is no available business continuity plan to manage the transition period. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that the ministry has appointed the business continuity team to develop a business continuity plan to manage the transition periods in terms of handling over and taking over office, managing the ongoing projects and contracts so that there is no disruption in service delivery. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that given the complexity of the Uganda Road Fund portfolio, if its mandate is transferred to the ministry, it is most likely to face challenges that may lead to its failure, and it will continue operating as a first-generation fund, defeating the purpose for which it was created, Right Honorable Speaker. The committee therefore recommends that the ministry responsible for roads carries out benchmarking in other road authorities in the region that are operating in second-generation funds with a view of borrowing best practices that could be implemented to further improve the operations and management of the Uganda Road Fund. Right Honorable Speaker, in respect to eliminating the bloated structures, the committee observed that Objective 2D of the Clause 2 of the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024, which provides for the restructuring and reorganization of agencies and departments of government by eliminating bloated structures and functional ambiguities in government agencies and departments, does not apply to the Uganda Road Fund and is therefore redundant in this bill, considering that the Uganda Road Fund has only 36 staff. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was concerned about the compromise of reverting to a single entity to be responsible for policy formulation, regulation, and implementation of a very critical mandate is uncertain when compared to a much more pragmatic alternative of restructuring and fully operationalizing the road fund to support it to work efficiently and effectively. The ministry has a wide mandate that includes overseeing the Civil Aviation Authority, Uganda Airlines, Uganda Railways Corporation, the Standard Gauge Railway, the urban roads, the district and community access roads, water transport, and public building works. And all this, Right Honorable Speaker, is under the auspice of one accounting officer. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that mainstreaming Uganda Road Fund into the Ministry of Works and Transport would negatively impact on the operational efficiency due to the overwhelming workload. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee was informed that the Ministry of Public Service and Ministry of Works and Transport have proposed a structure envisaged to accommodate the enhanced mandate. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee further observed that with the proposed merger, 9 engineers under the fund would be taken in the ministry function of programming and network engineering under district, urban, and community access roads. The 27 administrative staff out of the 36 staff in the Uganda Road Fund would be unplaced while the function of collection of funds is to be transferred to Uganda Revenue Authority, and the function of disbursement of funds to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. In addition, the ministry was to absorb the 197 civil engineering staff under the UNRA Directorate of Road Maintenance, under the Division of Road Maintenance. The committee is concerned that with the proposed merger, Right Honorable Speaker, planning for road maintenance and budget allocation in the country will be scattered across the different MDAs, specifically KCCA, various local governments, as well as the Ministry of Works and Transport. Right Honorable Speaker, it is not clear who will be responsible for consolidation of the aggregate needs, physical and financial performance, as well as accountability of the funds released by the Ministry of Finance in a timely manner, a role the Uganda Road Fund has been playing. Already, Right Honorable Speaker, maintenance grants transferred this financial year 2023-24 to the local governments directly by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development are neither being supervised by the fund nor the Ministry of Works, Transport, and that exposes the funds to risk of misuse, Right Honorable Speaker. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, if the road fund is mainstreamed in the Ministry of Works and Transport, the fair and equitable allocation of road maintenance resources among the beneficiaries, including the Ministry of Works and Transport, will be affected. In addition, there will be a risk to prioritization of road maintenance, leading to poor road conditions. Right Honorable Speaker, it is also likely that the funds for the road maintenance will no longer be ring-fenced. Further, Right Honorable Speaker, rationalization of the Uganda Road Fund alone will not yield sustainable results unless the attendant challenges pertaining to its full operationalization as a second-generation fund are addressed. Right Honorable Speaker, while second-generation road funds have been successful in securing maintenance resources, insufficient funding remains a challenge in many countries. Hence, the need for a clear legal basis, clear rules and regulations ensure proper fund administration.
No. Why do we have a conduit for a conduit in order to transmit money? Why do we get money direct the way we got 1 billion? I'm therefore opposing the committee report. I thank you.
You're doing what?
I'm rejecting the committee report.
Okay. Singiro.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you so much. From the word go colleagues, we all realize that the purpose for which this fund was put in place never came to pass. First and foremost, look at that. The act in its entirety, virtually, has never been operationalized. That's for sure. That's a given almost.
There's an order.
Madam Speaker, the purpose of road fund was for road maintenance. And if you remember, before 2009, before road fund, the state of roads, especially out of Kampala, it was worse. It is after the road fund came in place that districts started receiving money. And Madam Speaker, when they started receiving money, this is the time for road maintenance started. So many of us are members of roads committees in our districts where we're coming from. And we participate in prioritizing the roads in our respective districts. Right Honorable Speaker, is the member in order to say that the road fund law has never been implemented when we are members of roads committees, when we participate in prioritization of roads? Is in order, Madam Speaker?
Honourable Member, the road fund is operational and the act is operational.
Well, I thank you for that wise ruling, Right Honourable Speaker. And I want to continue. That notwithstanding, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, we all know very well that the money which was supposed to be collected and run and operationalized by this fund did not come to pass. The huge percentage of it.
So which money have
the
you
money
been
was supposed to
using?
be collected from the user funds for roads. Yes. Yes.
That is true, yes.
All the money that was supposed to be collected and managed by the road fund are the same monies that were taken directly, entirely, to the consolidated fund. Is that not a given? Is that not true? So that's... Thank you very much. Number two.
That money was supposed to be collected and taken to the road fund.
Thank you.
But it was taken to the consolidated fund. Yes.
Thank you very much. And that is the money that should have given a lot of activity, a lot of work to the Uganda Road Fund, which unfortunately is not there.
So where does
Number two.
Yes, a minute. Where does the road fund get its money now?
I am saying this is a small fraction of the money that is supposed to be collected. Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and members, the road fund waits for money from the consolidated to be passed to it for it to pass it to the district. So you have a tier. You have a tier through which the money has to go. And I think that's what we need to resolve. Does it add a lot of value to have a tier between the money, between the source of the money and the district which requires the money?
When the money is collected, originally it was supposed to go to the road fund, which did not happen for operationalization. So it went to consolidated fund, which returns back the money. Yes, which takes back the money into the district.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm happy that everybody is now getting my point. Right Honorable Speaker, if you asked any one of us here, other than URA, how much money do we collect from fuel that is supposed to go to Uganda Road Fund? How much? Even Uganda Road...
I think we should do, Madam Speaker, Uganda Road Fund was established to use user fees, road user fees, to make sure that we maintain the roads strictly for maintenance. It came as a result of a road conference, a world road conference in conference center, where we are blamed that Uganda had put road maintenance into the back seat of the vehicle. That the way to do it, you must have a specialized body agency to collect the money, and now we have it. If it has been denied some money, but we cannot destroy it, the maintenance of the roads is important. That we need to have the fund with specialized groups. For example, as we talk, they get work plans from the district. They come here, they look at them, give you money. If you don't account for the money, they don't give you money for the other time. Minister of Works was there before. Roads went bad. And there was nothing like a specialized or ring fencing of the money for road maintenance. Today, if you ask anybody, if you ask Honorable Aragaba, what does road maintenance mean? Maintenance, the word maintenance. You didn't tell you the meaning. I can tell you, not any language, by the way. Road maintenance, we are all strained. That's why you find road maintenance. It was Minister of Finance, because they were all fighting for it. So I appeal to members. Road maintenance should not be touched. We should think of promoting it and professionalizing it second generation. In Kenya, across here, you can see the table. You saw the table. We are spending too much money.
The role of the road fund by Act of Parliament is to finance routine and periodic maintenance of the public roads in Uganda from the road user charges. From the road user charges. The question is, do we get money from road user charges? Huh?
Right Honorable Speaker, the road user charges are corrected. The fuel charges are corrected. But the PFMA, and I think the URA Act, makes that money go to the consolidated. That's the that's the practice. What we had expected was that that money would be corrected and put on a special account. So if we are going to cure, that's where the problem is.
Thank you very much. And at the end of the day, there is no contradiction. We are all...
There is a procedural matter.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. The Honourable Minister is very well versed with the Act, the Road Fund Act, and is aware. And fortunately, has talked about the road user charges and other charges, which the government is correcting and is not remitting to the Uganda Road Fund as was supposed to be. That does not take away the fact that the road fund is very important. The fact that the Minister of Finance has continued to curtail the operations of the Uganda Road Fund and to fail intentionally to send the money that it collects, which is in the region of 2.8 trillion. The total amount that was collected last financial year from road user charges is 2.8 trillion. That is supposed to go to our roads. And this money is collected as part of fuel, and Ugandans are paying that money, Right Honourable Speaker. So are we proceeding well if we continue receiving mixed reactions, trying to confuse members of Parliament about the road user charges, Right Honourable Speaker?
Honourable Katumba, I just want a clarification. If we are saying we repeal this act, if we repeal this act, it is this act that puts in operation the roads committee in the district. What now happens to the roads committee?
Right Honourable Speaker, we are not repealing that. We are repealing part of the act.
Now,
that's what I said from the beginning.
If you are repealing
part,
part,
yes,
we are amending. I want to give you advice. If you are amending part of the act, bring an amendment of the act. an amendment of specific sections of the act, and then you leave the act. Just like we agreed yesterday, that we bring, you can even bring it on Monday and I will have it on Tuesday on the floor.
Right Honorable Speaker, as we agreed yesterday, I agree on this one.
Exactly. Honorable members, the problem you think I'm a machine. The Honorable Minister is in agreement with us that if it is making amendments of part of the what? Of the act, let's make partial amendments in the bill, not repealing. And it's going to bring it back. So for now, we are rejecting this one and we bring in the new one. Not so. General, go on.
Right Honorable Speaker, we'll come back with amendments to the bill, to the act of the Road Fund Act, to chew out the issues which we have in the present arrangement.
What we are doing now is we are rejecting this one. You want me to speak in Japatola? Honorable members, I am putting a question. We are rejecting this and bring an amendment to operationalize this. Not so, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, go on.
Right Honorable Speaker, I do agree that when you look, and and that's the why the bill reads the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill, and I had expected the committee to amend the sections we had requested to be amended. They have decided that the bill be rejected. Now, I'll agree with you, Right Honorable Speaker, that we withdraw this, we come back with an amendment to the act at the right time.
No, it is different from the repeal.
Honorable members, we are in agreement. Legislature is in agreement with executive. If it is the issue of operationalization of the thing, it will be done. But now we have said there are some sections that need to be amended, and they are going to come back on that, just like they will come back with amendment of UNRWA Act, where, and I will repeat, I will not be shy to repeat the same thing I said yesterday. You'll find the executive director of UNRWA is earning 10 times than the minister. You get it, eh? You need to give the minister powers where he can be able to do what? To make amendment. Eh? You get it, eh? I now put a question that the Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read.
Right Honorable, before you put the question, this is important to go on the record. in some other profession, there's what they call the slip rule. Sometimes we have a slip.
A slip rule.
Now here, before you had indicated on the record that we are rejecting, and yet you, Madam Speaker, you are not going to vote. So that
No,
was
I'm
a
not
slip.
rejecting.
So let the record show that it is Parliament MPs who are
No,
going
we
to vote.
are not rejecting. Honorable Minister, what have you promised to? What are we doing? Thank you. Thank you. What is the House supposed to do?
Right Honorable Speaker, the committee recommended for rejection.
Yes.
In totality.
Yes.
I'm saying let's withdraw this bill.
No, let's vote for vote for it.
Yeah, for this, for or against. Then I come back and bring amendments within which I feel that those amendments will make the road fund effective as expected.
Honorable
as
Dura,
a second generation.
listening?
But otherwise, if we continue as it is, and the road fund continues to depend on the consolidated releases, it will never grow. Right Honorable Speaker, further to this, in my report, the first report, I talked a lot about the lack of funds for road maintenance. Now, if you saw the percentages, if we are spending 19% on maintenance, 19% on maintenance, and we can't grow that to at least 50 or 60%, and we have done a lot of new roads, and within the next 5 years, they'll need maintenance, and we don't grow that fund, then we are wasting time.
Right Honorable
Honorable
Speaker.
members.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
It's also procedure. Honorable Minister, you are talking as if you know the result of the voting. I would think we would first vote. Once we get the results from the vote, then you can tell us what you want to do. Because now...
Honorable members, I put a question that the Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the second time. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. Honorable member, the minister is already in agreement with the whatever position, and the nays have it. And I don't see any problem with us reaching consensus in this house, because it is not a do or die. When we agree, we all work for this country. So when the minister is giving you this information, you should be able to appreciate and accept what it is. A very honest minister. Very, very honest. Honorable General, I want to thank you for being a honest general, because not all ministers are like that. Honorable members,
Right Honorable Minister, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable members, yesterday we had a bipartisan approach on the matter of UNRWA. And the issue was, if we have a baby stained with dirt and in the basin full of water, do we wash away both the baby and the water into the ocean? Get the baby, clean the baby, and then pour the dirty water. Now, in this bipartisan approach, what do? We all agree that we need this fund to be operational.
under section 21.
Therefore, do we destroy the very fund? Or if the channeling of the money was created by acts of this parliament, how do we strengthen it? By rechanneling the same money directly to this fund and growing it into second generational fund, strengthening it through collecting of tolls, etc. And then, if need be, we can explain to our masses and say, listen, we are the users of these roads. We need to pay for them more. And this is what the only fund we can ring fence with your money as road users is the road fund. So how do we go back with our mandate and tell the people that this very fund, where we said we will ring fence your money for road maintenance, even if it has been frustrated and all its funds have not been allocated to it, that we now want to put it in a casket and send it somewhere else. The only thing we will empower you, right, Honorable Minister, is for you to have supervisory role if you need it, and to strengthen that, for us to boost that fund so that it collects money on its own and uses it as NTR, so that the money, the issue that you wanted to cure, why is it going through a route to reach that fund? Now we shall empower you by saying, let the money go direct and be discharged directly for its sole purpose.
Honorable Minister, you've got that information. What we are going to do is to empower you. And I will still insist, where people need to be fired, they should go. If you feel it is reshuffling that will help an institution, reshuffle. Don't kill an institution, but let's reshuffle the institution. Now, honorable members in the committee, we have the Kidepo in the gallery. In the committees, we have the Kidepo loan. You have always complained, why are they tamaking only one side? Now the minister has brought 4-year loan for tamaking Kidepo, Kitugo. We have a supplementary schedule too in the committee. We have the tax bills in the committee. We have the budget harmonization in the committee. I want to give this committee's time and report back on Tuesday. Therefore, the House is adjourned to Tuesday, 30